today we are here at ETV Bangla's afternoon slot. You know, it's an announcement of the afternoon slot.
Correct.
So why suddenly did you want to venture into making the afternoons happen? Because
I think
the Bengalis sleep in the afternoon. So what made you think that they'll wake up and watch your serials?
I think two reasons. One is it's time to wake up. So think of it as a wake up call.
Okay, alright.
And see, afternoons is a unmet need right now. And I would argue the reason they are sleeping is because there's nothing there worth watching.
Okay.
Yeah? So as we've seen, whether it's Bengali content or Hindi, whether it's serials or movies, all that is happening is repeats and reruns. So we thought there was an opportunity because viewership is there. People are at home and they are looking for good content. And this is a market which has always redefined sort of what the definition of timing is.
Okay.
Alright, so in no other market, like I said earlier, I've never seen prime time starting at 5 o'clock and ending at like 11:30. It defies all conventional wisdom.
Absolutely.
But I think it sort of really is a very, very heartening sign for us that if you put brilliant content out there, people will come, they will watch it. So one is, I think the sheer opportunity. There was an opportunity to make a meaningful difference and give people something to do. Yeah, so which is why we've launched some of our biggest properties and we are sparing no expense in terms of the afternoon slot. It's not like some runaway small scale shows that we are launching here. These are some of our best properties.
So as per the stats goes, if I go by the stats, one channel is giving GRP of around more than 700. The second one is giving around 600 plus, and as per ETV standing, it's I think might be it's 120 above. So it's a distant third. So do you think this new marketing strategy will cover your desired distance to get at least to climb the ladder?
This has become a very difficult market, okay? Because over time, what has happened is a lot of players entered. But you're absolutely right; it's become a classic duopoly divided between primarily two players, Star Jalcha and Zee Bangla. So against this backdrop, we've seen a Shonanda come and go, we've seen a Maua Bangla come and go, and we've seen Ruposhi struggle. And we are in a position where sort of rather than sort of try to take the leaders head on in a market like this, we will choose to try and make a meaningful difference because people will come where the content is good. And that's what we are hoping to achieve with our afternoon programming is look for a spot, look for needs which are either latent or unmet and which we can meaningfully go after. So in the last 1 year we have tried many new shows, we put them in prime time, we've tried non-fiction, and yes, they have worked to a limited extent, primarily because viewer habits are already set. So if you are already watching a show on one of the leading channels, it's very unlikely you're going to change because you've been watching it for many months, if not years.
Right, sir.
Yeah, so habits are the hardest to break, and which is why we would rather think of it as a classic flanking strategy, where rather than sort of taking someone head on, you are taking them in a place where they don't expect it to be.
Okay, and sir, previously ETV was the pioneer in making telefilms and beautiful stories. One story, 1 hour story. So are you thinking any of this in a new way rather than selling the old wine in a new bottle? Or
correct.
Are you thinking of revamping this kind of slots?
So two things. One is we are bringing back a lot of these telefilms that we were once popular for. We've remastered them, we've color corrected them, and they will be launching incidentally on the same date.
Okay.
So Duranto Dopair will not end at 4 o'clock. From 4 to 5:30 we are going to bring back some of the best telefilms we've ever had. And these were then made by people who were not that popular, who were not that prevalent, and as of today they are all household names, they are award winners. You see them everywhere. So the first step is bringing back what was and sort of showcasing what was absolutely brilliant. The second step is going to be taking it forward. And we definitely are interested in reviving this slot because the Bengal market has in terms of a talent pool, it is incredible. And I think we owe it as a platform and as a channel. We also have a responsibility to sort of bring up the next layer or to identify who's the talent in the wings and to give them an opportunity for expression.
And sir, as per this this particular project is concerned, Duranto Dupur, it was a very highlighted kind of a thing, and at least I have personally seen a lot of hoardings, outdoor campaigns you have done. So
good,
just
happy to
just for out of the curiosity, how many? What was your budget about this your publicity?
So we are going to be spending more than 2 crores on this campaign. Okay. So the entire afternoon slot is being announced in 3 waves. So there is a teaser campaign which we ran, there is a revealer that is going on, and there will be show specific promos. And the campaign spans basically it's a multimedia campaign. So we of course have promos on our own channels. We have cross-channel promos on other channels. We have more than 300 sort of hoardings and outdoor sites. We also have extensive amount of radio spots. We are going to be doing print ads as well, and there are a lot of local activations and processions which are going to be happening at the ground level.
Okay.
So I think there's also a lot of, you would have seen station branding as well for the metro.
So when you're selecting the content for this particular slot, what is the thought process? What guides the thought process? Like, how do you know that this content is going to be, popular with the masses at this particular slot?
You don't.
I mean,
if we knew that.
Yeah. How are you selecting?
know,
I mean, these serials. Why these only?
So if you look at these shows, I think it comes down to, do we think the content is relevant, and do we think people will identify with it?
Right.
Okay, so that becomes our primarily criteria, because if you look at shows that do well, people identify with the story and they fall in love with the protagonist,
Right.
and they identify with the person or their journey or their struggle, and which is why we felt that Gauridan was an extremely relevant topic today, because we are all changing, and Bengal in particular has always been at the forefront of change. So that was a story which would work very well. The other story, Shrestha Kishora, is actually an adaptation of one of our top-rated Kannada fiction shows as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are all proven stories that have done brilliantly in other markets, which we think will fit the Bengali audience and meet the sensibilities extremely well. Durgesh Nandini, obviously, I don't need to. It is as much a part of sort of every Bengali in their growing up, and I think we've also seen that literature it's a huge sort of treasure trove in this market.
Indeed.
Even if you go back and you mind the readings of Rabindranath Ji, I think it is impossible to do that, because he was such a prolific writer, and that the sheer width of work he had was amazing. And on top of it, I think if you look at the relevance, I think what strikes me is what he wrote many years ago is as relevant, if not more relevant today. So he was truly a visionary, and he was truly gifted. And some of the biggest classics in this market have originated from historical literature pieces, whether it's Subarnlata or whether it's I'm trying to think of this other show which whether it's Behula Lakhinder.
Yeah.
So they are all examples of some phenomenal successes that the market has seen.
Right.
Which
It's like
everyone else would have said
proven
it's history, it's over, it's done with, who cares? But
Yes,
it is fantastic work.
And Gauridan, it's an adaptation of Balika book,
That's right.
So that already has a proven market.
That's right.
It's been running for so long. It has. So I guess that is the frame of reference that you've had. That India has already loved this serial, so that is why we are trying to.
No, I think more than that, it was more of does the story make sense here? Do people identify with it? Will they learn something from it?
Right.
Because as a channel, we also have a responsibility to our audience. It's not just about giving sort of contrived kitchen politics or yet another Saas Bahu story.
Right.
Yeah, it has to have relevance. There has to be something people take back and which makes them better. Because in all our groups, we have learned that people really look up to the education aspect of shows and of television in particular. For many people, sad as it may sound, TV is one of the largest mediums through which they can actually see change happening around them and understand it and communicate it to their families.
So what are your overseas marketing strategies? This is what is happening in India. How are you trying to promote your shows overseas?
Overseas, we don't do a lot of promotion, to be honest. Our primary focus is the audience here. And if it works here, I guarantee it's going to work in every Bengali in any part of the world.
That's interesting. And how's the response been? I mean, with the promos and the teasers, how's the response been in the districts? I mean, Kolkata city proper is fine, but then about the districts, that is what I'm more curious about.
So I think based on what we hear back, people are curious.
Okay.
They want to see what's coming up, and they will definitely watch it.
Yeah, as just Ritika said, that there have been huge crowds. I mean, there's been a huge crowd at the field when you've conducted your shows and all. So that is a way of also reaching out to people, of reaching out and placing ETV Bangla.
No, you're absolutely right. It's part of reach building.
household.
It's part of awareness building. It's part of content generation. I think you are now living in a era of influence, right? Everything is coming together. So what used to earlier just be an event has become more of a. It's become 3-4 things rolled into one.
Exactly. It helps with the promotion as well as it's a show and everything rolled into.
So if you look at Parashara Bautan, it's not just a game show where Anekdar goes there and gives away prizes.
Right.
I think you're also bringing talent and showcasing it in the neighborhood. You're giving people a platform from that neighborhood to come and showcase their talent.
Right.
And yes, you're having fun along the way. You're playing games. There will be some gratification, which is part of the format. But that's not the only thing. Which is where we think we are different.
So as for making Durgesh Nandini is concerned, if I'm not mistaken, sir, it has taken almost 10 years, more than 10 years. at least people will come to see.
It has taken
So
a long time.
it has taken a very long period, and in the meantime the management switchover was also there, and even I also changed 2 companies in that. So don't you think, sir, this is a pretty long time to have a production like this?
No, absolutely. I don't think it took 10 years. so it did take 10 years for sure. But yes, it did go on for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think where you have to admire Tarun Majumdar and his craft is it has always been shot in a cinematic way. It has not been shot like a TV show.
Okay.
All right. And I don't think he ever started off by saying this is going to be a TV show, therefore I need to cut it by episode by episode. He literally worked on, here is the story, let me bring it to life, let me take it forward. And as of right now, I think we are very privileged to have worked with him. And yes, it has taken time. Yes, it has cost us a considerable amount of money. But once again, it's a privilege to be associated with it, which is why we, even though sort of we continue to keep the show going, and we continue, and we are finally delighted that we can finally put it on air.
I think it's one of the most costliest production as far ETV's history is concerned.
Yes, it
so
is.
what's the budget money?
I can't get into budget numbers. All I can tell you is it's shot on a scale,
Okay.
and it's probably is one of our
Most expensive
It's one of our more expensive shows.
shows, yeah. So what are your future plans about ETV and reaching out to the audience? What are the future plans?
So I think we will continue to do what we've just set out to do in this journey, which is bring content that is differentiated, that is innovative, that is meaningful, and give viewers an alternative to what they have today.
Okay. So you're going to follow your promotion plans, your programming plans on these lines. Give them something different to watch and to look forward to.
Absolutely. So idea is to delight them,
Exactly.
to entice them, to
TV viewing should
enthrall
be a
them,
good
to excite them.
experience. Exactly.
So that's what really, to me, programming is about. You should enjoy it, and let me tell you, we have a lot of fun behind the scenes making them, and we want that sort of passion and that excitement and that fun to also sort of project itself into viewers' hearts.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks a lot.
It's wonderful
My
talking to
pleasure.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.